today's the day. Check it out. I just got through mowing. It doesn't look too bad. I cut it a little too short because today is overseed day. I got some new equipment I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna dethatch this stuff out here. I got some new seed. I'm gonna throw that down, and then we're gonna do a normal, show you how I do an overseed job. Now, speaking of new equipment, I got some. Check it out. Look at my new to me rear engine John Deere rider. I had another one very similar to this. As a matter of fact, it's in the backyard. But I picked this thing up for 80 bucks for parts for the other one, and this one was actually in better shape than the one I was using. So I made a few adjustments and put it to work. Here we got my Brindley sweeper that I use for getting up leaves in the fall. I've had this since 2018. I did buy this new. As a matter of fact, I bought this to get up all the crap from Hurricane Florence, but I added an attachment. Check this thing out. Now what you're looking at there was a agri-fab sweeper attachment, and it says it's universal, and it worked on this Brindley. So if you were wondering, there you go. Now the absolute beauty of this attachment is that you don't have to buy another piece of equipment. You know, I see guys on Facebook all the time on the lawn groups, they show their big piles of dethatching stuff. But this one, you don't have to clean up anything, because as soon as it pulls, these tines pull it up out of the soil, it catches the sweeper and goes right in the back. You can see where I was playing with it some. I got a little bit of thatch back there, or dead clippings or whatever, where I was trying to set the depth. It's got two different adjustments. You just move this wheel. Now, just so if anybody was wondering why you would do this before you overseed, you're scraping all the clippings off the top of the soil, like the dead clippings, the ones that didn't rot yet, and you're kind of scratching the top of the dirt in between the existing grass so that your seed will have a spot to go and it can actually throw down roots, and so it won't start trying to germinate in that layer of dead clipping stuff. Now, one thing I did, you see all this stuff right here, this is what I raked off the side of the house, because that sweeper over there, I can't get but so close to the side of the house. So, and it's real, and when I do side discharge, it blows it up on the side there. I really should have done this already, but I pulled it out here so that sweeper can just suck it right up as I go across it. And there's one more thing I need to do. I need to take this flag, I need to mark there's a irrigation head about right there. So in my yard, all my irrigation heads, there's one right here in this corner, right there, and everybody else they're around the outside, either against the house or out on the street. But I've got that one right in the middle. You don't want to drag that dethatcher over your irrigation heads if you can help it. I mean, if you bump it here and there, it'll probably be okay, but you want to mark them. Try not to run over them. Thank you. It's not there. There it is. Hiding. There we go. I know to avoid that now. All right, time to get started. Less yakking, more dethatching. Look at that thing. Oh, it stripes the grass with that brush moving. Looks pretty cool. So I almost got a full load of stuff. And that's just moving back and forth like, I don't know, 10, 12 times. So I'm gonna run around here and dump this stuff and keep thatching. All right, I've been dethatching for about an hour now, and check it out. You see, it's got all that crap out. We got little voids in there for new seed to go. So I was going to show, look at these bald spots over here where I was battling the Bermuda. That dethatcher ain't doing exactly what I wanted. It's not roughing it up good enough. So I went and got my dirt rake and I started trying to rake. And look at that big hill right there. See how the grass just, even though it's been sprayed with Roundup. See, watch this, when it rolled, it just rolled over like this. And look at these little assholes right here. There's a couple more in here. Now I put down imidacloprid, which was supposed to be a season-long control, but I guess those grubs didn't get the memo. Maybe I need to change my program up and do a couple of applications a year. Either way, I'm gonna have to put some grub eggs down as part of this seeding, and some 24-hour kill them right now type stuff. But anyhow, the plan is, I'm trying to get out of the sun. The plan is to take my hard rake right there and scuff up all these places like that, and this, and this, which is likely what was some grubs. And then I'll be ready to throw down some seeds. All right, here's something else I had to do. You see this bald spot right here, right in the middle of the yard? That dethatcher on the front of that sweeper won't doing a good enough job of busting this actual thatch up. That's this stuff right here. You see it? So I took my garden weasel and got out here and started doing this. This is a fine piece of equipment to have. I'm also going to use it, you'll see later, I'm going to use this after I put the seed down to scuff that seed in to those bald areas, because you got to think, out here where I'm standing now, where the lawn's in decent shape, you're just kind of overseeding to thicken it up. But over there, you got to treat it like a new lawn. Ooh, that was a lot of work. Well, it really wasn't that bad. It was just a lot of riding around. Final thoughts on that dethatcher attachment. It seems like it works pretty good. It didn't scratch the bare areas as good as I'd like it to. Probably one of those power thatchers will probably work better. But you just got to make several passes. It'll get a desired result. But I mean, you're not doing nothing but riding around in your lawnmower and enjoying life and sipping cold beverages. So it is what it is. Final result on all the clippings and thatch I got out. Look at there. That's a lot. And what I'll do is let that dry out some, and then I'll put it right there and I'll blast it off into hyperspace. Now for the good part, grass seed. Boom. They call it Major League on the bag, but Outside Pride calls it Combat Southern. I'm assuming they just buy a prepackaged thing and then call it what they want to call it. Whatever. It's got good stuff in it. Check it out. We got Brutes Tall Fescue, Annihilator Tall Fescue, and the good old SPF 30 that's already out there in the yard. I'm going to try this one this year. It's got SPF 30 in it. Like I said, that's what I put out here last year along with the triple threat from Southern Seeds. That held up well. It'll be good to see how like the fescue holds up in this bag here. Well, I'm gonna weigh this stuff out over on the side piece by the between the fence and the side street over there. I'm gonna seed it just a tad heavier because it's got a lot of bald spots in it, and I'll show you. When you overseed, you don't want to throw down as much as you will with new seed. I'll show you a real simple thing to do with the bald spots. Now I got all that seed out. Over here I did 4 pounds to the 1,000 roughly. I weighed it on my scale right there. On just this part right here. Now I'm going to show you what to do about these bald spots. It's pretty simple. Now if you look down in here, you can already see there's some seed. This is where I overseeded. This is where I did the 4 pounds per 1,000. All I'm going to do now is I'm just going to I'm going to seed it a little heavier in these spots here. Just like that. I forgot to mention, I like this drop spreader right here. When I do seed, I like using a drop spreader. It's a lot easier to control the grass seed itself and not throw it all into beds or in the highway and all that other kind of stuff. I use a broadcast for fertilizer, but for seed, I'm telling you, drop spreader is the way to go. All right, once again, see the seed on the ground? I'm gonna come back and make it a little heavier in this spot here, just like this. All right, the seed's out everywhere. It's heavier in the bare spots, and it's been overseeded all over here too, right here behind me. Alrighty, this sun, I cannot get in a good spot, so sorry. Anyway, remember garden weasel? I used it to break it up so that the dethatcher thing on the sweeper could pick it up a little better. And now that I got seed in there, I'm gonna take and work this in like this. And it's harder to do with one hand, and I'm standing here with a GoPro in my hand. But you get the point. I already did this one over here, look. You see where it's worked in good? That was a two-hand job right there.
Giggity.
Let's see if I can do this one right here. Soften this soil up some, and them seeds will drop in there and it'll kind of cover them. There you go, I can really work it now that I got the camera sitting on the ground on a tripod. All right, all the seeds put out. I got the bare spots worked in with this garden weasel. It's time for fertilizer. Now, the fertilizer I'm using, they don't make it no more, so I ain't need to even really tell you what it is, but you want something with high in phosphorus. I make one phosphorus application a year because I have a lot of natural phosphorus in my soil where I live. Phosphorus doesn't, it drives root growth, so you definitely want that at seed time. But I want to put it down once a year because it really doesn't, you don't need it every application. It doesn't go away very quickly. It stays pretty stable in the soil. So just keep that in mind when you start throwing a lot of nitrogen down. I meant phosphorus. Phosphorus. You throw a lot of phosphorus down. You don't want to get too much. The only way to really remove it is to bag clippings or do what I did, you know, all those clippings that I got out of the soil. So who knows how much phosphorus I removed from this lawn, taking it back there. But anyway, that's enough yakking about phosphorus and nutrients. I'm gonna throw some fertilizer down. Fertilizer's out. Now we're getting down into short rows, as the old folks would say, of this overseed job. It's time to talk about spraying and watering. That's the only two things we got left. Tonight, and here in a little bit, I'm going to spray a combination of this at the 4 ounce to the acre rate. This is mesotrione, aka tenacity. What that does is it acts as a pre-emergent. It'll ding up the existing weeds, and there's a few of them out there. I've been battling oxalis pretty much this year. I hit it with Speed Zone back in the summer and cleaned up a lot of it. The oxalis is the only thing that really made it through. But any kind of bull crap, including Poa annua, it ain't going to germinate through that. But your grass seed will. And you'll notice that it'll turn, oh, that's the wind. You notice it'll turn white. Your seedlings are turning white if you sprayed that stuff. Well, that's just what it's going to do. It can turn, the seedlings, when they pop up, they may turn white. Not a big deal. As they grow out, they'll turn back green. But it won't kill your seed. I'm also going to spray a heavy dose of my favorite insecticide, Cyanor 9.7. There was a lot of moths flying up while I was doing that dethatching stuff. That tells me we have side web worms out there. Something that's going to make worms, and they really love that new grass seed. So you want to make sure that that's gone. If there's anything else out there that may have been gnawing on that mature grass that it can grow through, they see that young tender grass, they're going to be all over it. So preemptive insecticides is a must. You can mix these two together in the same tank. This is exactly what I'm going to do. And I was looking at my stuff up here, all my stuff. I don't have any propiconazole. All I have is this Armada, and I don't want to use the Armada on this today. If you're scared of fungus because you're going to be watering heavily, propiconazole right by itself is supposed to help grass seed germinate. But I'm just going to skip the fungicide this time. And if I see any issues, then I will spray at a later date. The other thing I need to do is I need to follow up with some sort of a grub, 24-hour grub killer. That Cyanor will do something to them. But I really need to hit it with something with a little more stank on it. That's designed for grubs, like a granular job. More about spraying. I have 2 electric sprayers, but I only have 1 head. This is that Pump Zero job that you can buy. What I did is I found another tank that'll use the same head. See, I have 1 tank there. One of them's a Field King and one of them's a Husqvarna. The Husqvarna is for my zoysia in the backyard, and this one's for my cool season mix here. I have 2 different tips in them, and they are calibrated to my walking speed. So I can grab that thing and mix it however I want to mix it, and it doesn't matter if I'm spraying the 5,000 square foot in the front or the 2,500 square foot in the back. My tip is calibrated for whichever job, and I can use, I'm not worried about contamination. The cool season stuff goes in that one, warm season stuff goes in that one. I'm going to throw some shots of me spraying up at the end. I don't like, as soon as I get done spraying, I know there's a lot of people say, I go change my clothes immediately. I go throw them, and I wash my clothes in its own washing machine. I want a Mesotrone soup, my kids' clothes washed in that. I just, my yard shirts and all that, my pants, I wash them separately, and then I immediately go take a shower. And if you get in the habit of that, whether you're spraying something that's dangerous or not, it's a good habit. All right, we're getting to the end. I want to talk about watering. I swear I see it every week. Somebody puts some seed out, and they go on a Facebook group, some lawn group, and say, oh, this seed sucks, man. It sucks. I put this seed out. Listen, the seed don't suck. And if it's in date, it's good. Even if it's not in date. I've gotten stuff to germinate. Now, your germination rate goes down some if it's out of date. But still, even then, you got to water it like it's supposed to. That's the main thing. Skip the fertilizer, skip anything else. If you don't water grass seed, and that goes for warm season grass seed or cool season grass seed, it doesn't matter. If you don't water it right, you might as well took that seed bag and throw it in the trash can and then went online and said it was crap. Look, you can get grass seed, any seed, to germinate in gravel, on concrete if you keep it wet. That's the thing. You've got to keep it wet. If you're not going to be home, if you're going to be at work like me, I've got that in-ground irrigation with that timer and all that fancy stuff I can control from my phone. You don't have to do that. If you get one of them hose bib timers or something, you've got to keep it moist. You've got to keep it moist. If you don't keep it moist for like 3 weeks or so, then don't do it. Just don't even try it. If you go out there and you look and see that it's dry, then you need to bump it up a little bit. If you see that it's running off, then you need to bump it back a little bit. Just damp. That's all you want. I'm probably not going to do a video on the grass after the fact. Go follow me on my Instagram. I'm going to put up pictures over there after it all comes up and starts looking pretty again. We're about to switch gears on the channel. Hopefully, every time I say I'm going to do something in my life comes up that's a pain in the butt and I don't have time to do it. But I've got to start working on cars, so definitely stay tuned if you're into that stuff. Some of my junk rescue stuff. I got generators to work on. I got all kinds of stuff, the other kind of stuff I do on this channel. I got to do a lot of that stuff through the winter time. I've also all summer I've been trying to get concrete put over there by my where my cars are sitting at. That's going to help out a lot. I can do a lot more with that side of the channel. But anyway, thanks for watching. Come back and see me.